So here they are, the Milwaukee earbuds. They are in Australia. You can get your hands on them. I love them, but I also hate them. So I've had them for a month now. A lot of people asking for a review for me to have a look at them, seeing if they're worth it. They're $200 or $199, and let's go through the good and the bad. Straight into it, that's the case, a lot larger. These are the ones I'm currently using. These ones I used before that, obviously the Apple, what do you call these? The Pros, whatever it is anyway, but a lot bigger, massively different. So the main reason for this one will be that it is the USB 3 lithium battery. The good thing about this is the amount of charges you get is 10 charges for the actual headphones themselves in the case. So 70 hours worth of charge time on this one battery. So that's absolutely fantastic. Awesome if you're going to use it quite a lot and you're not going to put the actual case on charge. And look, before I do get too much into this and compare it to other brands, I will say that I do see this as different compared to your general everyday earbuds. They do call them worksite or job earbuds. So they are more for the work site. They are to be thrown in your glove box. They're to be used in your construction vehicles where it's a lot of noise and you want that noise cancelling. You want the longer charge time. So the smaller the case, the smaller batteries, all that sort of stuff, I almost see as irrelevant here. I think it's on a different sort of level, a different application. So when we open it up, you have got the clip. You've got to physically put that down to lock it in. But it all feels nice. You've got the two earbuds. The green means that it's fully charged, and then you've got red and yellow, which means it's obviously low or in between. So I've had a little bit of trouble with this one. It's not a big thing, and it might be just on mine. There we go. Now and then it doesn't click in and charge, so make sure you are getting that in correctly. I had to clean some of the terminals. I've had it for about a month. These do go in, as you can see. Sits in there nice, does have a magnet, so it does slot in. Then you've got all the functions in here. So clicking the button once on the right-hand side will pause, twice will go to the next song, 3 times will go to the last song, and when you have phone calls, you've got the details there to answer and hang up. And then when you click on the left-hand side, you have the noise cancelling and you can change the level of noise cancelling that you want. And this is where we get into a few things I don't like. So when they are in, they are quite large. So you do get 10 hours out of these, which is obviously fantastic, but I'm not a fan of the larger earbuds. Maybe that's just a personal preference, but it's definitely something that I take into consideration. I've gone to smaller earbuds with other brands. So then we've got the buttons themselves. Milwaukee smashed this one. I'm sick of a lot of these other earbuds, and maybe it's because they're smaller, but they have either the touch button, like it's not a physical button, if you know what I mean, or they're just very small and hard to find. So this is literally the whole black part there is a button, which is fantastic. So if you've got gloves on, you're just walking past, you can just smash it in nice and quick, and you can pause and play and answer, all that sort of thing. But this is the annoying part. As I showed you with those functions, the left and the right hand side do different functions. So if I don't have the left one in your ear, and I guess maybe the idea is that you always have the left or the right, the left and right in your ears, but for me, a lot of the time, I'll just have one. So with this one now, I can pause, I can unpause, I can answer phone calls, I can stop the phone calls, but if I'm walking around with the left-hand side, then I can't do any of that. All I can do is control the amount of noise reduction. So that's definitely something I've had to get used to, and realistically, it's not something I really like. I wish you could maybe hold the button down to do the noise reduction on both of them, and then you can also do all the other functions. I think that would have been the best way to go, but once again, it might be just personal preference. A lot of this is going to be personal preference. Everyone's going to be different. You're going to use it in different ways. So please keep that into consideration. And then when we get to noise reduction or the cancellation, so when you do click this, it is not actually cancelling, it's allowing sound through. So what I've found is if you're talking to someone or listening to a TV show, you will get a delay. So I think it's actually picking up the sound and then relaying it through the speaker. So there's a little bit of a delay, gets a little bit annoying. I don't really like it. And when you double click it to reduce the amount of reduction or cancellation, I guess you could say, I'm not sure how to say this, it allows more or brings the volume up of the outside noise. I hope that makes sense. But then on top of that, it does have its noise cancellation that comes in automatically when you have a certain amount of noise coming through. So I find it a little bit disorientating now and then. If I have both of them in also, I even rolled open or closed the roller doors to get in the shed, and then one of them would cancel all the noise. So it's a little bit weird, but it's definitely good if you're working around loud noises on a construction site, using a grinder, using a hammer drill, impact driver, whatever you're doing. And the amount of noise cancellation you get from these is 22 decibels with the silicone tips, but with the foam tips, which is what I've been using, they're basically the same as your construction earbuds that you get, those nice cheap ones. That is up to 25 decibels. So it is making a good amount of reduction. For myself, I've only been using the foam type, and for a month I've used them. Not every day, not that amount of time. As you can see here, they've come apart. So there's the other part. Obviously the foam inserts are basically the same as your ones that you wear on site, and they don't last long. You usually use them a few times, a few days if that, and then you throw them out. So you can see that one's cracking. I cannot find these ear tips in Australia to replace it. So at the moment I actually don't have any more tips because I threw out all the silicone ones. I figured I would just use these. That was my bad. I'm gonna try to see if I can import some in, but yeah, if you are going to be using the foam inserts, make sure to get extras. They are available in the US, maybe a few other countries, but that's the only place I can find them. When it comes to the fit, they do fit in there. Like, I did complain about the size of them, but they don't fall out. I haven't had any problems with that. I do wear a helmet to get to work, and it's not too bad. So if you are wearing them on a bike or in some sort of scenario where you need a full-faced helmet, it's not too bad. They will definitely come off or fall out when you take the helmet off. Phone calls and music, like the sound is quite good. I do find that they're definitely not as loud as a lot of the other brands that I've used, and a lot of the phone calls are definitely a lot quieter. I'm not sure why. I don't know if I'm doing something wrong, but yeah, they're just not as loud as what I'm used to. You can work through it. And then they do have a function where they will turn off after a certain amount of time if you're not using them and just leave them there. I do like that. Not every brand will do that, which is sort of strange. And to get it to turn back on, you don't need to put it back in the case. You don't need to do anything like that. You just hold down the button and it'll reconnect. The connection to the phone is fine. It's like anything else, connects very easily, pairs very easily, and then syncs back nicely when you do need it to, as I just said, when you've left it off for a bit, and just turn that button on. So my overall thoughts are that I think they're more a practical way to go. They're not looking for fancy sound or anything like that. They look absolutely awesome. Like, I really do rate the case, as big as it is. It's definitely different. They've gone out and done their own sort of style. I don't know if it's just a rebranded type deal. They've used their own batteries, which is pretty cool. They are only $200, so you're not looking, you know, that $300 to $400 route, which the Apples definitely go, and a few other brands. So I think they're well in their price limit, and I do think they would suit many people in the construction industry, in the gardening industry, maintenance, whatever you're doing. I think it's pretty good. I like the foam inserts. I think that's a really cool way to go. I would definitely recommend getting more of those though. I wish the pack had more, or maybe it did. I threw it out pretty quick, unfortunately. But for myself, I don't think I would buy these if I knew everything about them that I do now. They're definitely cool. I'll put them up on the shelf, and I think I'll probably go to another set. But yeah, I hope that helps. Let me know what you guys think, and check out some of my other videos. Catch us later.